certain nationalities, they request on behalf of girls somewhere.
Okay.
The guy that requested for them is no longer answering the phone. These girls are here with you now as a driver. What do you do with them? They end up saying, hey, let's offer you because of, now we are in a situation. Government, they've dropped the ball a long time ago in as far as law enforcement is concerned. I don't know if they had their own interest.
The whole Maponya incident.
Yeah.
What happened there?
What happened is criminality. Criminality within the e-hailing space is big. You get robbed, you get killed, you get hijacked by people who are posing as customers.
Welcome back to Palatable Politics, where we make politics palatable with me, your host, TJ Maslela. Welcome to the show. Please like, subscribe, share. You can unsubscribe, unlike if you want, but do it, and then we'll deal with the rest later. In today's show, we're going to be discussing meter taxis and e-hailing. Here to give us insight is none other than our guest, Mr. Sibongiseni Shange. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you, one, give us a bit of insight as to who you are and also SAMTEA?
Okay. My name is Sibongiseni Shange. I'm from SAMTEA, which is called South African Meter Taxi and E-Hailing Association. It was formed 2019, just before the Lekgotla resolution took place in Boksburg in East Rand, whereby it was involving all the modes of the taxi industry. When I'm saying the modes of taxi industry, I'm talking about different categories, mainly the minibus, meter taxi, scholar transport, cross-border, and women in the taxi industry. Okay. So that Lekgotla, it was based on the fact that whatever that was discussed when the formation of SANTACO happened during the Maharaj needed to be implemented.
This was 2001, eh?
2001, yes. Okay. But Balula, as the minister at that time, made it a point that we discuss these matters and we take resolutions and we implement those what you call engagements that happened then.
Okay, and then if we to go to the bill that the president signed, which became an act. This was last year. What was that act and what was it intending to achieve? The
act, it was an amendment of the bill for the longest time that we have been up and down in Parliament trying to do some submissions in as far as the e-hailing is concerned, not just the e-hailing, but other things as well. Because you will know that times are changing, the industry evolved, and we need to make sure that we align with the current market. As we will know that the industry, it was not necessarily formalized. So it was partly formalized. As we go along, we're formalizing it in a way that it attracts business because we are in business, even though part of it is politics, but we are guided by making profits because of as we operate as business entities. So we needed to amend the bill in order to suit the today's model. So e-hailing came as something that took the industry by surprise. So we needed to accommodate that because we couldn't say no to it because at the end of the day, our commuters, they want something that is convenient. So we needed to amend the bill. So the president took about close to 8 years for him to sign it.
How long has he been in office?
not necessarily this president. I'm talking about the government itself.
Okay.
Because it went past the Zuma time, then the Ramaphosa. Because you would know that e-hailing came into the country. Where 2013, e-hailing was already here. But the emerging of Uber and then others, they joined thereafter. But 2013, we had the operation of e-hailing. And then 2016, we started engaging with government and sending submissions in as far as the bill is concerned. And it was only signed June
2024.
Yeah, 2024, yes. So this year we're hoping that we're finalizing the regulations. Yesterday, I was in Parliament having to engage with the portfolio committees, specifically the presentation that came from the Transport Portfolio Committee. It was exactly reflecting on the regulations where we submitted, and so that we must have some kind of the controls in how e-hailing should be operating in a country.
Can you give us a highlight or summary of some of the submissions that you guys made, the content of the submission?
No, the submission is, you know that the introduction of e-hailing, it was introduced at the kind of a sidelines hustle, whereby when you already have a vehicle and you want to make some more cash, and you just download the app, and after downloading the app, you start now ferrying people at the costs, and the people will download the app if they're interested to what you call the requests for the rights, then they request for the rights, but it's not according to the South African law, because if you ferry people for a reward, you need to have some kind of authority to do that, meaning that you need to have a permit or an operating license that guides you to do that. So we needed to send some submissions in as far as that is concerned, that are talking, the car must not be private. It's not a private service. It's actually a public service. So now the vehicle that is ferrying people, it needs to be branded and need to be identifiable. And you, as a customer or as a rider, you need to not to look at just the registration in as far as identifying it. It needs to be a taxi, because of that's a taxi kind of service. So now from the distance you must be able to identify it. This is a public service transport. Others is a matter of how the e-hailing should be operating, because of you would know that we had meter taxis before the e-hailing. The meter taxis were supposed to be using a sealed meter inside the vehicle, and then
when you say sealed, what do you mean?
A meter to like calculate.
Okay.
It will calculate as the car moves per kilometer.
I actually remember that.
Yes, okay. Yeah, you remember that. Yes. That was analog. Now that it had its own definition in as far as the operation is concerned. So whereby it was called hailing, because of what you could call a taxi or go to the taxi, or even phone the call center for them to arrange the taxi for you. They arrange it via the radio system, and or you could just email the office, and then the office will arrange the driver for you. So now we were calling that hailing system. Now that the introduction of e-hailing, which is electronic hailing, through the app, we are able to request and we are able to communicate direct to the driver, as compared to the meter taxi system, whereby you via the office or you go walking to the car and all that. But it's kind of a same market, and it's just that this one has been kind of should I say it
digitized?
Digitized, yes,
okay.
Digitized.
Yeah, guys.
Yes,
understand.
for sure.
Okay, so your organization, right?
Yeah.
Represents meter taxis and e-hailing
Operators.
Yeah, e-hailing operators.
Yes, correct.
From what we've seen, there seems to be a fight with these two in particular, especially around malls, how train stations, etc. What's the fighting there about?
No, it used to be e-hailing and the meter taxis, there used to be a fight before when the introducing of the e-hailing system came in, because of the meter taxis, they believed, or they were entitled to the space, to that space, understanding that you need to follow some kind of regulations or a law in order for you to operate. So now, when e-hailing was introduced, it did not follow that. It was just a matter of people having a car and downloading and just ferrying people. So now, it got the meter taxi, let me say traditional meter taxi operators, upset because of why would someone come and just do business without having to follow the bylaws or the laws of the country. So that was a question, but it penetrated the market, and it was already there, and the market responded to it. So some of us, or some of our members, they migrated, should I say, they integrated to e-hailing because of what they had to follow the market. And only maybe few that were left with the ranks and all that, but most of them, they had to follow the market. So the introduccing of new partners as well, who are investors into the business, because of, you know that the e-hailing is more focused on the driver owner or the driver. Where you acquire the vehicle, they don't really mind where you acquire the vehicle. All they need is you and the car. So now they focus on the driver. But in our end, we focus on the operator. The operator is someone that has invested his time and money, and also who's compliant to the laws of the country, whereby you go and acquire the permit in order for you to be able to operate.
So operator being owner or?
Being owner.
Okay.
Yeah, an operator is the owner because of, the permit is aligned to the vehicle.
Okay.
So if you apply for a permit, you should have a vehicle. You applied for a permit before you buy a vehicle, and then once it's granted, and then you buy a vehicle, and then you attach it to the vehicle.
So the issue that we are currently facing is one of...
Now, the issue that we are currently facing has escalated to the minibuses.
Okay.
When it happened with the meter taxis, the minibuses were relaxed because of they thought that is not a competition to them. Because of, at that time, the pricing was actually competing with the meter taxi, the pricing.
The pricing of meter...
Of e-hailing was competing with the meter taxis.
Yes.
So the meter taxis were a bit expensive, and they were a bit, not much accessible as compared to the e-hailing. So it was competing with the meter taxi at that time when it came. And as time goes by, more apps companies are coming, more people in terms of partnership are partnering, more cars, influx of cars. So therefore, is now chowing into the minibus. Also, the issue of pricing because of.
Okay, sorry. Can we come back to the minibus one?
Yeah.
I just want to clarify the one of the meter taxi and the e-hailing.
Yeah.
So currently, you're saying that there's no issue with.
There are no issues. What happened is people ended up joining this site. Only the few people are left that other side, even though they're still,
Yeah, but it does feel like if I were to go to the Sandton train station or even, let's say, Pretoria, I don't believe I'd be able to order Uber and it fetch me from the train. I'd have to walk down to Renalto.
Now, only those few places, yes. You can count them to 4 or to 5.
What's the plan to fix that?
No, what is more important is any system, innovation, if it comes, it must make your life better than before. It 100%. Shouldn't disadvantage you. It shouldn't make you worse off than what you were. So now the guys who are operating in those places, they have a legal authority to operate there.
Yeah, the compliance
and all that.
And permits.
So now what we were negotiating with Uber then was, let's make sure that these guys are not at a disadvantage. Make sure they get relatively newer cars in order for them to be able to compete, not necessarily just compete, but to sustain the business as they have been doing. But now the guys, they can't afford new cars. And also with the issue of pricing, for them it's ridiculous for them to go and, these guys are old. They can't go to the bank and acquire a brand new vehicle for something that is not sustainable. As you would know that there's been many protests from the e-hailing drivers from time to time, protesting about the pricing, the working conditions, and exploitation, all those things. They come to what? Me, I've already been operating. Why should I invest in a business that is not sustainable, is not bringing any profit?
From the law enforcement aspect, because I assume the issue here, especially around the certain malls and Gauteng, that is supposed to be a law enforcement issue, that they're supposed to say, you don't have a permit, don't come here, or am I right by that assumption?
No, well, you see what the government, they've dropped the ball a long time ago in as far as law enforcement is concerned. Only now that people are dying, and only now that we have these problems that they cannot ignore, and then they have to respond to these things. But with the issue of e-hailing, I don't know if they had their own interest or what, but they just ignored the compliant part. They ignored it in a way that it came to the point that it's uncontrollable. Because anyone can just put a car. Obviously, if there's too many cars, the issue of it doesn't balance the supply and demand.
The market gets saturated.
The market saturated, yes. So now, at the end of the day, you will find people now protesting against the system. So right now, we meet from time to time with the MEC almost every Friday, trying to resolve the issue of compliance and the issue of issuing of permits, so that people must operate within the law. So we have seen the results of the law enforcers. But as they enforce the law, as we comply, we need to get those permits so that we're not compromised. Because it's pointless for you to enforce the law if you're not doing your part.
So you said you were meeting with the MEC basically almost every Friday.
Yes.
How is this implemented? Is it that every province is dealt its own thing, or is it national?
No, it's Gauteng. If I'm saying MEC, I'm basing it in a province. It's Gauteng, where each and every mode within the taxi industry get to participate to resolve the issue of backlog. It's called crisis committee. Okay. So that we must sort out the issue of the permit backlog.
So, but every province has its own.
No, every province, they do their own thing. So I'm being specific to Gauteng because we're having crisis in Gauteng. These things have been happening in Gauteng mostly.
Why do you think it is Gauteng more than?
Of course, the market. I mean, there's too many people in Gauteng, and the economy is in Gauteng. So everyone comes here, everyone starts here. Okay. So that's the reason why.
Okay, now moving on to the minibus aspect. Yeah. You were saying that it's taking meter taxis and e-hailing is taking into the minibus market, cutting from their profits. How?
The saturation of vehicles. The market becomes smaller. It's not supposed to be like that. We're supposed to be coexisting and complement the operation. Because of others, I feed it to the others. But now, once the market is not controlled and becomes saturated, even the e-hailing guys themselves, they're not making enough to carry on. It's no longer making business sense to carry on or to even add more cars for growth. When you go to business, you're going to go to business for the fun of it, or just with a vehicle, or just to survive for the day. You go in order to grow, make profit, grow, and see onto it that it gives you a direction of saying, I'm from here, point A, and then point B to point 3. So also the issue of pricing from the e-hailing apps companies.
I'd assume it can't compete with that.
No. What is happening is they kind of should I say frustrating the market based on their pricing.
Okay. So
you know, if you were a e-hailing driver, 2013, you were making money.
Did you have a figure just for context?
Yeah, you had more trips, and the pricing at that time was profitable because of the back logic. 2013, how much was petrol? 7 rand or 6 rand 50? Petrol was that. How much was a small car? Then it was 120 at that time. And many things have changed over time. So now, if you reduce the price from 2013, if you were ferrying the customer for 5 kilometers at a rate of 50 rand, then today you're ferrying a customer at the rate of 30 rand. It does not make business sense. So therefore, how is competing or unfairly competing with the minibuses is because of you will find people using one vehicle or using other people's profile collectively requesting one vehicle. Let me say the 7-seater. 7-seater.
Okay.
Next to the rank, you request the 7-seater. There's 5 of you. These people were supposed to go with the minibus, but they see it's not convenient, it's taking too long to be full, and then they request the 7-seater next to the rank. It's no longer complementing.
Okay.
It's now competing direct and unfairly so because of there's no regulations that are saying how are you operating, and the drivers, they believe that they can just drive anywhere, pick up anywhere at any given time, and anyhow. It's not supposed to be like that. You need to be guided by the regulations.
In principle, I understand and I agree completely.
Yeah.
But there are 2 points that I'd debate on. The first one would be the aspect of compliance and regulation.
Yeah.
I agree. But I don't believe minibus taxis in themselves are largely compliant. And I mean, they have been many stories about where that's impounding. That's one. And I mean, license discs.
No, it's not about comparing the two. You asked me a question.
Okay.
How is it taking from the other one?
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
So I'm not comparing the two because of this one was not regulated.
Okay.
Since it's being regulated, then we'll then speak about regulations.
Okay.
How are you operating? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? And then if we then coexist on those bases, then it's another debate because of we coexist as complete and compete based on the fact that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not encroaching on the other people's space. No, for instance, yesterday, the presentation from the chairperson of the portfolio committee.
Okay. The transport.
Yes.
Okay.
Spoke is responding to that. How are you supposed to operate? You're supposed to be operating based on the app, meaning that there must be a request for you in order for you to operate. So now that direction means that what is expected of you? Pick up the client when there is a
request.
A request, yes, using electronic device. Yes. But if you now having your own private clients and those clients are directly contacting you, that's another story. It's not the same service. If you're now ferrying staff based on the arrangement with the staff, there's another service. If you're now ferrying kids to school, there's another service altogether. So those are the kind of things that make us to clash with the minibuses. And if you now go to the airport, you're carrying the phone like this. You're calling people to come to your vehicle. They didn't request. You're just saying Uber. Here's my vehicle. And then they go to your vehicle
fine.
without the request.
It's no longer hailing.
It's no longer e-hailing.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. No, granted. But how would one balance this situation we have with just general free markets, free competition, in the sense of, and just innovation? That if I have an idea, or if I have a way that can make someone's life easier and create a market,
Yeah.
it feels like there's a trade-off that we're having in terms of just pure innovation and entrepreneurship and the regulations.
Well, the government at all time, they are always caught napping in a way that they have to adjust and should I say technology is very fast for government, very fast for legislation.
Yeah.
So now,
How legislative process.
yeah, so the process takes long, but now, not long ago, we were talking fourth industrial revolution, and we made those resolutions that the industry need to adapt, need to be part and parcel of that. We're talking AI now, So now, every time there's a new innovation, there need to be new regulations. So now, do you really believe that will be possible, that every time there is a new system, then government will be able to come up with regulations on time? That's where the problem is. That's why there's this disruption of the market and all that. Not that the industry does not want innovation. They don't want technology. But now, if it comes and disadvantage them, while they've been told about compliance, and they've been doing it, and then others entering the market not even being told to do the same, that's where then you'll find these conflicts. Because of, why am I told to compete with someone who doesn't comply with the laws that that's been introduced to me?
This one of the Afrikaner e-hailing.
Yes.
Oh, Vanuatu.
Yeah, Vanuatu, yes.
Where does that fall into all of this? Are they compliant?
No, they're not yet. They're not yet.
Okay.
You would know that the introduction of the e-hailing is based on partnership. You cannot introduce that system or that service if you don't have partners, right?
Okay.
So now the concept or the modality is, look at the market, look at who must join you in the journey of introducing the service. So the Vanuatu, I'm not speaking on their behalf, that's my thinking. They looked at their market. Obvious Afrikaners, they support each other, and they look at the loopholes of what is happening in the e-hailing industry right now, whereby there's no security is being compromised, and the issue of quality service has been compromised. You would see now what the kind of vehicles that are being used by this Bolt and Uber now is no longer like before in terms of the standard. So now they came up with something that speaks to safety, quality service, and also the language that attracts, should I say, their market. So they come up with that, but they entered the very competitive space, not understanding fully. They not have done enough research. Yes, you can have people subscribing with you because of you can speak Afrikaans, but how many are they? And also that approach, if you don't comply, it will catch up with you because of you're not above the government. If they say law enforcement and you brand your vehicle, I don't know how far can you go with that. I don't know. They are still on the road that can see their vehicles. But once the law is enforced, I'm not sure those cars that are branded and they don't comply, how far they will go. Because of you pay 5,000 rand just for the car to be impounded.
It does feel like they're being left out in terms of they're not being held to the same standard as e-hailers.
No.
Which I agree in terms of the challenges of compliance, driver, all of that. But it feels like they're also allowed to, Vanuatu is able to do their own thing. And you guys are not holding them to the same standard?
No, well, the law is law. If you apply the law, you don't ask a person that, are you Varnatu or are you e-hailing?
Okay.
If you apply the law as an officer, you ask for a permit. I'm seeing you have a person in a vehicle. You are operating as a meter taxi or the e-hailing service provider. Do you have a permit for that? If you can produce the permit, regardless of you being a Varnatu or being a meter taxi or e-hailing, you have authority to do that.
To operate.
So now, I wouldn't say that they've been left out. They are operating because they don't talk too much. They talk when it's necessary, but they don't protest. Okay. Like we do, we protest, we do what we do, not us as SAMTEA, but the e-hailing guys, they protest and all that. And it seems like they complain a lot and then they get that attention. But those ones, they don't get that attention. They get the attention of their market. That's all. The only time that there was some kind of attraction to what they are doing is because of what their cars, they were being impounded. Then they went to court. Then what happened to court is between them and the government, because of you need to issue permits to people before you can enforce the law. If you take me to court and then you're saying to me I'm doing wrong, did you do right before you see me doing wrong? There's a debate, because I'm trying to do what is right for me to survive. But now, if you're not, as government, issuing the permit that I need in order to do right, then who's wrong there?
Yeah, but something has to give, because food has to be put on the table.
Of course.
Nonetheless.
Yes.
And in terms of, you touched on the safety component.
Yeah.
The safety of people that use e-hailing, and I guess meter taxis in particular. How, as an organization, what are you guys doing to ensure consumer and driver safety?
No, we're engaging with two companies, technology companies, to install systems in the vehicles for our members. Systems like fleet management system that comes with cameras. It comes with calculating kilometers in as far as the operation is concerned, tracking the vehicle 24/7, and being able, as an owner and an operator, you have a driver, you are able to go and look at the system and compare the earnings with the traveling of the system. Also, the driver's behavior, and also being able to check if the driver is tired or not. It will indicate that the driver is tired. It will also indicate that the driver is drunk. Yeah?
How would it indicate whether
he's
tired or drunk?
It's technology. I mean, we're talking innovation, and we enter into these spaces whereby now we're coming up with solutions.
That's solid.
Yeah, the system can recognize the driver. Like, for instance, when you go to work, you use the clocking system. You remember you use that clocking analog system.
Yeah.
Now you use a finger now, right? So now some cases says we use the face recognition. So the system, the driver look at the camera and then use the face recognition in order for the driver to start his shift. Also, it can also recognize the regular clients in the car, the counting of the clients in the car.
Okay.
It can recognize them. And if the car is overloaded, it can also indicate that the car is overloaded. So there is a whole package of the fleet management system. If you drive in a dangerous area, it should indicate. If I want to zone the system as an operator, I can zone the system. If I don't want the car to go to Maponya Mall, that area or Soweto, I can set up the system not to go there. And then it indicate if the driver is going to the wrong place. And if I decide to switch off the engine, I can switch off the engine right there and there. So now these are the kind of systems that we are now piloting with two companies. I don't want to mention the companies because they are competing. We are kind of implementing those safety measures for customers because of you can see through inside and outside the vehicle. The camera can record outside, it can record inside. I've seen the cameras that they are using currently, but it's nothing compared to what we are introducing because of it can recognize the face. Even if you see at night, those cameras that I'm talking about, that they are currently using, that are used by anyone else, you will see the person at night is black and white, it's blurry, you're not sure who this is. But that one of ours, if it can actually check that you are tired,
it can.
Yeah, it can see, recognize your face. So now those are the kind of system that we are introducing.
Okay. And then I acknowledge that this is part of the safety of the client and the driver. Naturally.
Yes.
But from the client, we have heard stories of whether people being robbed, women being assaulted, etc. I assume the camera part would deal with this.
By drivers?
Yeah, the drivers. I mean, I'll come to the other part, but now touching the aspect of their clients being, whether saying assaulted, has there been any accountability there? And is the camera system alone sufficient to deal with that?
No. The vetting of the drivers is lies with the app companies at the moment. The app companies are the ones who have that power of vetting the drivers, since we don't have the regulations as yet. But us as an organization, we have partnered with the private company that is also partnered with one of the app companies to thoroughly vet drivers that are driving for us, are driving for the industry. We have actually opened the organization that is called Taxi Industry Recruitment Agency, whereby through it, we'll make sure that the drivers that are driving for the industry are vetted and they are trained and they understand the industry and they understand the customer service as we professionalize the industry. Remember, I explained to you when I started about the Lekgotla resolutions. The Lekgotla resolutions, they are part
of 2019.
2020. Where there are 5 pillars there. Unity is one of them. Leadership, professionalization, transformation, and corporatizing the industry. We need the industry that is formalized. Right now, we have individuals there. If we die, there's no business. We want the industry that's talking about organizations in a way that we attract other relevant stakeholders to invest in a formalized environment. So that's why we're implementing all these things and making sure that there is an expectation. What are you expecting from the driver? And also, the driver understands how we should behave. Because of right now, if you just take someone just from the street and then you give him the car, he thinks he's got a right to shout back. He thinks he's got a right to fight the client because of what? He doesn't want you to misbehave. But now if a person has been trained, he understands that this is my boss as a client. But also, I should also indicate that also customers, they must also behave themselves in a way that, because not everyone is a customer, by the way. Not everyone is a customer.
Okay.
A customer is someone who's willing to pay for the service.
Okay.
That's a customer. Not someone who requests for a discount. That's not a client. That person is only taking advantage of the system that is giving him a discount or a free ride. Then that person sees the reason that he must now request. But there's someone who has a purpose of saying, I'm requesting because I know it's my duty to pay. The behavior is different.
No, on what you're saying. I've made it a thing of asking Uber drivers of their experiences. And there are some wild stories I've heard. And you alluded to one of customers not being able to pay. And then in some instances, there would be a request for a sexual exchange. Is that a real thing you guys have picked up?
Of course. That is happening from time to time.
Tell us more.
No. In the industry, this industry have been exposed to different kind of behaviors. You'll find that there are people who will buying cars and even buying scooters. You would think that those scooters, as they are busy as they are, up and down, they're delivering food.
Okay.
All to find that they're delivering substances. Not really food. I mean, how many people are buying so much food? Whereby you will see each and every corner is a scooter within a second. So now there are many other influences within the industry because of it's not regulated, it's not being controlled. Also with the vehicles, there are people who pose as e-hailing drivers, but who are doing other things more than just ferrying clients.
What
also
are they doing?
Delivering other things.
Okay.
Parcels, but not necessarily good parcels. Illegal things.
No,
I can't say what are those things. I don't know, but there is those kind of what you call operations. And then when coming to clients as well, you will find certain nationalities, they request on behalf of girls somewhere.
Okay.
To come to their places of what you call enjoyment or entertainment, should I call it? They call it entertainment. Brothel centers and all that. When they request on behalf of these girls don't have money. Someone will pay when they drop them off. But we are not being told as a driver that no, actually, someone else should pay, not these ones who are posing as clients. You pick them up. I'm going to make an example with Soweto. Not necessarily only Soweto,
Mm-hmm.
Pick them up from Soweto, you come to Rosebank. The guy that requested for them is no longer answering the phone. He's no longer interested. He got another one somewhere. So he's no longer interested with those ones. So now he's not losing anything. He's going to switch off his phone. These guys are here with you now as a driver. What do you do with them? They end up saying, hey, let's offer you because of, now we are in a situation. No, these are real stories. Not necessarily, these are daily things that are happening. You find a girl that was picked up from Soweto. She's now in Rosebank. She wants to go back home. But because of now, she's been dumped by whatever connection. Now you have to take her back. You don't know. She will request. You don't know that she has a situation. You take her back. When you take her back, you find that she doesn't have money. You only find out when you drop her off.
But in a case like that, because, for argument's sake, let's say I do that, I request someone comes, etc., then I switch my phone off. Would my account not have that and you guys put a dispute or you put a claim or a charge on that account or on offense or something that is a deterrent?
It's a process. It's a very irritating process. Because of now you have to explain, now you have to give some proofs and all that. But you know what? Someone else requested, not necessarily these ones that you have in a car.
But now the driver is stuck with
them. But the driver is stuck with these ones. It's kind of it's a situation that is compromising a lot towards the operation. They're making less and less and less. These drivers, they're struggling. Now you go pick up someone who can't pay. Can you imagine? Then instead she's offering you, what do you do with that?
No, that is. So what's being done to address that?
Yesterday I posed the question to the chairperson of Portfolio Committee that, we need measures in place in as far as vetting is concerned from the driver point of view. There must be good drivers that are driving. Also from the client point of view. The regulations are talking about the RICA system there.
Okay.
Whereby now the SIM card should be identifiable, linked to the particular person, But at the same time, we are asking for a face recognition. If a driver has to, time and time again, take a peek,
just to verify if
he's the right person. Also, the good customer, I'm not talking about people discounted, good customer wouldn't mind to declare,
Just verify themselves.
to verify themselves. Because of, can you imagine if you're a driver and you go to Hebrew, you're going to pick up Mr. Sanele. You don't know how Sanele looks. You don't know if these are all Saneles. You look around, you don't know if this person who's opening the car is Sanele or not. You just ask him, are you Sanele? He says yes. But he's not Sanele. That's how they get hijacked and robbed. Because of, you need to know who are you picking up. Now, with the meter tax, if we are being asked to go and pick up the customer, you already know who the customer is. Sometimes they're regular customers. There's a reason why we put cameras on the car with a fleet system. It must also recognize the regular customers. But obviously, we have to inform customers that the cameras are here to protect you. Because our people, they don't want to be recorded. You know, most if people they go to the places of entertainment, they are drunk, you can't record. They don't want you to record them. But if they are nice people who are behaving, they don't have a problem with that, as long as you don't share.
Okay, so just taking it back, would do injustice if I didn't ask about the whole Maponya incident.
Yeah.
What happened there?
What happened is criminality. Criminals shot people. Criminals burned the vehicle of the young man who was just trying to make a living, who has just started 3 days, I think. Criminals did that. But because of the happened at Maponya Mall, not far from the rank, is going to be aligned or is going to be linked to the taxi violence. Up until police have done their job, enforce the law and catch the criminals, then the criminals must answer and account for themselves why they were doing what they're doing. But right now is a speculation because of what? There are these issues between the industry. Obviously, they would think, who in the right mind from the industry will shoot and ban the child next to the rank? For what reason? But I'm not saying it's not the industry. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's the industry.
Yeah.
It's criminals.
Yeah. So criminality is criminality, 100%.
Yes.
But these criminals, is there any association with them and
no
association?
No. Up until they get caught and go to an answer for themselves, only then we will then say this is the reality of what happened. Right now, we can't link anything to anything. No one has been caught.
That's what was reported. How often do you guys see incidents like this within the industry?
It does happen in the industry, but criminality within the e-hailing space is big. You get robbed, you get killed, you get hijacked by people who are posing as customers. There's extortion, and there are many elements of criminality within the space of the industry. So criminality is defined as criminality. Even if you are a Sotho, or you are a vendor, or you are a Zulu, if you are a criminal, we put away the nationality. We call you a criminal. So now you can't then align that with the taxi industry just because of the criminal is a criminal. Even if the criminal is from the taxi industry, is a criminal. Even if the criminal is from Soweto, is a criminal. You can't then say, hi, he's from Soweto, therefore he's then a criminal because of he's from Soweto. No, he's a criminal because of his good behavior of a criminal.
Building on what you were saying, if I, as TJ, would like to enter the e-hailing or meter taxing space, whether it's as an owner or driver, how do I go about it?
At the current moment,
yes,
you just go to the offices or you just download the app and then you just tell them that you want to be a driver. And then from there, you go to the offices and submit some paperwork. And if they approve those paperwork, don't even go to the offices at some point. You just, on the system itself, you just scan, send. If they approve, there we go.
Okay, and they, Who's they?
The app companies.
Yeah. Oh, so it's an Uber, Bolt,
yeah,
whatever.
Uber is a little bit different because of you go for a vetting system whereby now they check your criminal record, and the fingerprints, and then from there after 1 or 2 days, and then when you are being approved, you got no criminal record, and then you go to another stage where they'll kind of test drive you if you are able to drive, and you upload your documentation on the system, and then off you go. But Bolt is also applying it now, but all along they were getting away with this. In Drive, no, you just have to send what you send. Off you go. You can ferry people that you don't even know. They also don't know you.
Which companies would you say are compliant with the law, regulation, are safe?
Well, Uber has been relatively aligning with the law for some time, and the introduction of Bolt compromised them because they lost the market because of when they are busy complying with the law, others are breaking the law. Introduction of InDrive and others, it also compromised those who are complying. That's why we needed proper regulations so that they get a fine if they don't.
From your side, what's your vision of a unified taxi system that works for all South Africans?
No, through SAMTEA as an apex. SAMTEA is an apex body that is meant to represent all the taxi operations or the taxi modes. Through workshops and engagements and proper trainings to professionalize the industry, we will achieve that. But it's still a long way to go. People need to be trained to understand what is expected of them, and need to be professionalized to understand, and also to understand the issue of the market. People don't understand that. The issue of competition. I hear journalists talking about competition, this, competition, that. For me, it does not exist competition. What exists is, do you comply with the law? Are you allowed to operate? So if you're allowed to operate, who are you competing with? If you're competing with someone who's not supposed to be operating, that's unfair competition. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now, if people are compliant, are doing what is supposed to be done, then there'll be peace and harmony in the industry. But if the law enforcers and the government is just looking at the industry, not applying what they're supposed to be doing, then we'll have these problems.
Are there any discussions or programs in the pipeline?
Yes, we are. We have programs that we are doing as SAMTEA. Where last year we graduated 100 entrepreneurs under the business development program together with TITA.
TITA, that's a Gauteng initiative.
No, TITA is a taxi training authority. So they assist us with funding to make sure that we skill these entrepreneurs, even driver owners, to understand how they should run their business profitably. Because you will find that people are on the e-hailing space, but they are leasing vehicles to the drivers. That's not business. It's a leasing kind of arrangement.
It is business.
No, it's not. We are leasing the vehicle. We are not operating. The operation means that the driver is there to drive the vehicle, not to run the operation. Meaning, if you give driver an authority to run the operation, that's when you find drivers protesting because they don't understand what is expected of them. You as an operator, I'm talking about our operators that we trained. Some of them, not all of them are practicing it. They're still struggling there and there. Rome wasn't built in one day. Those who are doing it right, they have a fleet of vehicles.
Okay.
That fleet of vehicles is installed with the fleet management. That fleet of vehicles is installed with the gas, LPG gas, converting it from petrol to gas.
Okay.
Meaning it's using both gas and petrol. Gas is low in terms of cost because of it's not regulated. So you get a liter for 12 rand or you get a liter for 13 rand. As compare how much you're paying for petrol. This way you're cutting costs. When you're cutting costs, more profit. The driver...
Which is innovation.
Yes, innovation.
Yeah.
The driver himself, he's got Wi-Fi inside the vehicle. He's not buying data. Because of the system itself, it comes with Wi-Fi. So therefore, from time to time, most drivers, they must be online at all time. He must not be given a responsibility of buying data. We issue petrol cards to the drivers to go and pour petrol or gas. They are not supposed to be taking from their cash up or go around looking for money to put petrol. They are not supposed to. Yes, they're not supposed to do that. As an operator, we're supposed to do that. The driver need to get paid. We're paying them fortnights. After 2 weeks, we're paying them. They are paying more than minimum wage, those drivers, because of they are getting paid according to the commission, 30% of what they bring and on the net. Some of those drivers, if they stay long with us, they're on UIF. Drivers during COVID, they were compromised a lot because of most of the drivers within the taxi industry are not registered. So now, when coming to UIF, they don't have anything to take home. So now through our programs, we are initiating all these programs so that we professionalize the industry. We're making sure that the owner, which is an operator, is well off, and also the driver is looked after. In that way,
win-win.
We don't have angry drivers who are actually taking out on the customers. But if you don't have a system and that is managed, you just have people just going online and then driving people, then you will have these issues. And you'll have these people protesting, demanding, going to the government, MEC's office, demanding, going to Uber office, demand. They don't understand the modality. They don't understand the formula. The formula is about compliance, is about the operator running the business, meaning integrated system, running the system, and the driver must drive.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you. Is there any additional information you would like to share with our viewers, whether it's safety concerns, tips, even for drivers, that basically helps us be safe and ensure that we're able to get to where we're going, I guess, arriving alive?
Yes. No. It might be premature for me to divide a lot of information to you because of we are working on this behind the curtain, should I say, behind the scene, to make sure that these kind of modalities that are implemented in a way that they work in favor. But we are working on these things. We're not demanding them from government or app companies. We are working as the organization. We are working on them for our members to be at advantage in terms of running their businesses. And we are engaging with fleet companies, we are engaging technology companies, fuel companies,
and
tires.
industrializing, I hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because of it's a big space, but now you need to position yourself. You can't just be crying to government all the time. I mean, we know that we have been doing that for a long time. What are we expecting from them? They just have to regulate and make sure the legislation is there. But from our side as business people, we need to be innovative and make sure that we introduce things that are working for both our operators and also the customers in a way that it attracts the market and make sure that the market is at a good space for people to trust it. There's the loss of trust within the industry, but we're working. I'll come back to you as soon as we launch our projects.
Please
and
do.
I'll come back to you and then I'll tell you that these are the projects. This is the campaign that we're working on. We have been working on, but watch the space.
No,
we
thank
are
you.
in it.
Thank you. And thank you for making time for us.
Yes.
Guys, I hope that's been insightful. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. Let us know what additional information you'd like to know, how you can get involved in projects, and he will respond.
Yes.
And guys, thank you. Palatable Politics.